Well, from one earnings to the other, and let me now welcome on board Suneeta Reddy, the MD at Apollo Hospitals, joining in on the show right now. Ms. Reddy, congratulations on firstly the deal. Outline for us what Advent really brings on the table besides, of course, growth capital, and how is it that you see the synergies built in?
So the most important thing is that Advent is bringing capital to the table. They are bringing 300 million for 12.1% of the combined entity, which is the current Apollo Healthco plus KeyMed. So they will get 12.1. In terms of their exit, there is an optionality that can be triggered post 5 years. And I think we have many options on how to handle their exit. The most important thing to understand is at that time we believe that the valuation of Apollo Healthco will go up by many multiples, and this will happen because of the integration of KeyMed. It'll enable the growth of the private label, which is currently only 17% of the business, and truly this and the scale that it will bring, which is definitely the most important thing. KeyMed has over 70,000 pharmacies that it supplies to, and if you add the fact that Apollo Healthco is present in 19,000 pin codes, and the fact that it has 30 million subscribers, I think the synergies are tremendous, and this will be reflected in the EBITDA margins as we go forward.
Ms. Reddy, that point is taken, but how will these three divisions fit into the value chain? Because in current sales, where will we get the most value from, and what's the growth expectation from each of the segment then?
So the most important segment, of course, is the offline pharmacy currently, and that segment, if you look at the growth of this is happening at 20%. Online is growing much faster at over 70%. So, and this has been reflected in the growth in GMV. So the value will be captured mostly by offline in our current estimates in the first year with the combination of KeyMed and Apollo Healthco. But over a period of time, value does accrete from the fact that this is the platform in which the Apollo customer will engage. So value will come from diagnostics, where they do significant number of transactions per day, teleconsults where they're doing 12,000 transactions per day, and the fact that they will bring consumers, patients into Apollo hospitals.
Right. And how is it that you realized that the valuation had, reached the EV number, and what factors you think were kept in mind for arriving at this number?
So we look at the combined valuation of 22,481 crores. Of this, 14,478 crores are attributable to Apollo Healthco. How has this valuation arrived? Uh, Advent did their own valuation and came to somewhere below this number. But what AHL did was that we had both KPMG and EY come to a valuation of this company, and using that, I think we were able to secure this valuation. This is also at a 15% premium to listed peers, so we believed it was the right value. And more important was the timing of the transaction, the fact that this will enable growth capital. With regard to KeyMed, the valuation was at 8,003 crores. This valuation again was derived by and by EY and KPMG, which Apollo Healthco requested them to do this valuation. And this is at a 20% discount to a similar listed peer. So we believe that both the valuations were fair. And it came at a time when, Apollo Healthco required the capital for growth and also to provide capital for Apollo Hospitals.
Yeah, aggressive growth target has been set for the combined entity with the EBITDA margin target at 7 to 8% level as well. Say if you do reach that number, then which segment will contribute the most, and what kind of margin trajectory are you seeing segment-wise, let's say 3 years from here on?
So if you look at, the combination just for the current period, if you look at the combination of both KeyMed and Apollo Healthco, you have potential offline margin existing of 7.3, and you have 3.5% coming from KeyMed, which is close to 10.7% over a 3-year period. And let's assume that the online is not, has no losses. So there is a potential to reach 10% margin over a period of 3 to 5 years.
Right. And how is it that you're seeing KeyMed grow at a higher growth rate than IPM? And also, since Apollo Hospital itself contributes to about 40% of the KeyMed top line, can we expect this number to then grow in the times ahead?
So the growth levers is certainly the fact that, at Apollo Healthco, they're looking at network expansion, and this will definitely drive growth, and it'll drive the growth of KeyMed as well. Private label, so KeyMed currently has an ambition to do more of private label. Currently, they have over 4,000 SKUs. They're looking at expanding this. They currently serve 65,000 pharmacies. So the important thing to recognize here is that the pharmacy space was an unorganized sector. So what we've technically done is organized this space, and while organizing it, we will be the largest player in this space with a presence in over 19,000 PIN codes.
Okay, but I also wanted to understand this fund that you are getting as part of this deal. How are you looking at investing this? Could you give us a breakup, especially with respect to what will be the growth capital for Apollo Health, whether you will invest in online or offline channels? Give us a bit more detail on that.
So of the 860 crores, some of it will go towards debt repayment. The balance will be for growth. In terms of the offline pharmacies already generating free cash flow. So I think we will have enough capital for growth in the future, which is the most important thing. 890 crores will be given to Apollo hospitals for, again, our expansion plans. We've already stated a 3,000 crore plan for 2,000 beds, but we have more over the next 5 years that we've planned for.
Right. And any other approvals needed to get this deal through? I mean, the key risk which you think you should be keeping in mind?
Yes, this of course has to go to all of our shareholders, which is we have to have both an AGM and EGM and get, because the minority will have the majority voice in approving this transaction. We will have to go to CCI within the next 60 days. And having done that, I think, with this transaction is good to go. I don't see any other risks to the transaction.
Okay, Ms. Reddy, on that note, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us. A quick